I'd like to call on Damien Ash, please. Good morning.
Morning. Okay, I'm good to start. Okay. Hello, Madam Chair, City Councillors, and City staff. My name is Damien Ash, and I'm a tenant in Ward 2 and a member of Acorn's Downtown chapter. I am delegating today to ask the City to take action on extreme heat in renters' homes. My building at 100 Ferguson Avenue South does not currently have any air conditioning, but from talking to older tenants, I found out it did in the past. But when the outdoor unit broke down, they did not fix or replace it. They replaced it with a heat-only model. And due to the dramatic increases in the number of extreme heat days, I was forced to find some kind of air conditioning. Unfortunately, all I could afford was a small portable unit that is way undersized for my home. Meaning the unit runs non-stop and does not cool my unit. I can cool a small section. And because of this, it is very expensive to run. Therefore, I only use it on days when it is over 30 degrees or high humidity days, and I need the relief. So some, like during a heat wave, maybe the first 2 days I don't use it, and then I do, just because I haven't slept. And a properly sized unit, or better yet, replacing the old system in the building would reduce the cost of use, making summers enjoyable instead of dreading them as I do now. And from talking with other tenants, I know many have no air conditioning or are like me with undersized units, just using them on the hottest days. Some might say just go to a cooling center, but for many that is not feasible, as when cooling centers are open, there's normally an air quality warning telling you not to go outside. Plus, you can't sleep in a cooling center, and during extreme heats, it's so hard to sleep. So it does nothing to help again. And when you leave to go home, you're going to get hot again on the way home. So what was the purpose? Extreme heat is dangerous to health and reduces productivity. Tenants deserve protection from the heat, as they do from cold. It's time for governments to recognize this and solidify it as law. And to qualify for discretionary benefits to receive an air conditioner through OW, you need a medical certificate, which that disqualifies anybody with physical disabilities, because no physical disability needs cooling. But these people deserve to live in a comfortable temperature and not extreme heat. And in my experience, discretionary benefits are a very limited pot and usually run out instantly. So very few people get access. And a temporary cooling measure that we can make available for this summer be something like a designated space available to all tenants that is air conditioned. So like maybe a vacant unit in a building could be designated as a cooling center within buildings. My building has a gym that has air conditioning, and so I've gone down there and just sat in the gym to cool off on certain days. Which is not really ideal for people who want to work out, having people just sitting there. In closing, Hamilton is predicted to be the second hottest city in Ontario due to climate change. The time to act is now, and a maximum heat bylaw is just common sense. Thank you for your time, and I'll try to answer any questions.
Thank you, Delegate Ash. Are there any questions? Councillor Pauls.
Thank you. I was wondering, maybe you don't know this, maybe staff does, how many days did we declare a state of emergency because of heat last summer?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to look it up. Sorry.
Okay.
It was
Does
quite a few,
staff
though.
know?
Maybe, I'm sure they do. Well, I'll allow that question.
Okay.
But if we think we have questions for staff, maybe we can hold them to the end.
Okay.
Is there anyone who would like to answer that now so that we can?
Okay.
Director?
Kevin McDonald, Director, Healthy Environments Division. Thank you very much. Through the chair to the councillor. Not a state of emergency, but heat warnings or extended heat warnings, and I don't know if Matt Lawson has the year-over-year numbers at his fingertips, so I'll defer to him.
Through the chair, thank you. In terms of Director McDonald is correct. I can't recall the last time, if ever, we've called an emergency due to heat alerts. However, we do track the annual number of events that we call for heat warnings and extended heat warnings, and also that data we reflect the total number of days that were in those alerts. And so we use that data to cross-reference with, for instance, visitors at the Hamilton Public Library. We can do analysis to find out whether more and more people are going to the library on days where it's hot for the appropriate response activity of seeing whether people go to a library to cool off. So we do track that environmental data for analysis with health-related data, but no emergencies have been declared in recent memory, Councillor Pauls.
Thank you. And we don't have how many days. I'd be interested to know how many days in the summer we usually have and track that.
Yes, through the chair, that data is available. I don't have it this moment. I can have it in 2 minutes.
Okay, no problem at all. I could take it offline, or you could email me with that information.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's an important question. I allowed it because of the context, but moving forward, we'll park all questions for staff at the end because I think it is an important data for us to hold. Any other questions for, yes, Councillor Crutch.
Thanks. I listened carefully to what you were saying, and you talked about productivity, you talked about loss of sleep, and talked frankly about dreading the warmer weather, which in Canada is saying something. So could you maybe add to that a little bit more and talk about what your experience has been like, how this is having an impact on your life?
Sure, yeah, through the chair. So when summer rolls around, like so far we're lucky this May, it's only been one day where it was almost 30 degrees. I remember back in 2018, I was already using the air conditioner in early May, because that year we had so many days above 30. And I just sit in my chair and I don't really move, I don't really accomplish anything. Too hot to even do like the dishes or to cook warm meals. It's just, I can't use the stove all summer long because it just it heats up the apartment so much. I know a lot of people do that, where they don't cook any hot meals in the summertime, just sandwiches and stuff that can go in the microwave. And so it makes it, and the sleeping part, like trying to sleep when it's 30 degrees plus a humidex value is near impossible. So yeah, and just a side note, when air conditioning was first being invented, the first neighborhood they ever did put air conditioning in was a test neighborhood where they tested productivity, and then that was the reason why air conditioning was put in office buildings and whatnot, is because they saw the increase in productivity and it made it worth all the money.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for sharing that and for being here today to delegate. I appreciate it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are no further questions. Thank you for your delegation.